Right now in studio with us, man, this is a legendary moment, man. West Coast legend, hip hop legend, Tony A, the Wizard, in the building. What's up, man?
Good morning, DJ Mambo. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thank you for being here, bro.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, man. So you've been in the game. I will say, when I first started buying cassettes and CDs, your guys' was one of the first. I got to say, like, probably one of the first 5 CDs or cassettes that I bought, bro. So thank you for the memories, first of all.
Thank you for supporting us, bro.
Yes,
I truly appreciate that.
So how did that collabo with you and HighC happen back in the day?
It was late 80s. I want to say maybe 88 that I was introduced to him by my manager, rest in peace, Steve Yano, at the Rodeium Swamp in the city of Gardena. And he wanted to rap on my mixtapes. And he actually approached us at the right time because during that time, Dre, Cube, and those guys were going on tour.
Right.
They couldn't rap on my mixtapes anymore, so we needed somebody else. And Steve said, you know what, you should get this guy. Kind of has like an Eazy-E type of voice. He's still in school. Go meet him. So I walked to the back of the swap meet, met him, invited him to my house. He rapped on my mixtapes. Well, he rapped on an instrumental. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't think he was that good of a rapper. So I kind of waited a little bit. And then a couple of months later, he hit me up and he said, hey, you know what? I am performing at my high school, Centennial High School in city of Compton. He said, do you mind DJing for me? And I just said, no problem. And when I saw him as a teenager, he was about 17 years old, interact with the crowd, that's what won me over.
So the interaction with the crowd is where you told yourself, I want to work with this guy.
He knew how to perform.
Now, you were a DJ before a producer, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And what made you get into the production side of things?
I didn't know I was going to be a producer. I was just DJing, and then I became the mixtape guy. And when we started to do somewhat of an original song on these mixtapes, like I'm Not Your Puppet, and then after that we did Sitting in the Park, only for the mixtapes.
Right.
Somehow that ended up in the desk of a record executive at Disney. Mm-hmm. They were opening up their first record label called Hollywood Records. They came to the swap meet looking for the people responsible for the people who made the mixtapes.
Right.
And we thought they were there to bust us for bootleg cassettes. But no, they.
But bootleg, I believe, like back then, you could get away with it more.
Yes,
and then in the 90s is when they kind of like started catching on.
Yes.
But the mixtape scene, I will say this, man, like back in late 80s, even early 90s, radio was strictly like pop. So you wouldn't hear the hip hop as much as you do now on the radio. So the swamp meet was the radio back then, because if you wanted the poppin' music or the mixtape scene, how you would get mixtapes from the East Coast and LA at the 101 swap meet here in Ventura. And I remember the Rodeium mixtapes making their way out here.
Yes.
Did you know how far these tapes were getting?
I had no idea. I'll be honest with you. There's people that will lie and brag. Oh yeah, I knew I was pop. I didn't know, man. The guy gave me $100 and he said, each time we do a mixtape, I'll give you another 20. So 120, 140, 160. Until I got to 200. That's when he stopped. Okay. So the first one I did was in 1987. We had the promo for JJ Fad Supersonic.
Right.
And that was the first one. It was called Breakdown. And he gave me $100 and I thought it was cool. I'll buy more records,
Right.
I didn't know until one day I went, maybe like 6 months later, I went to a house party. And I'm leaving the house party and some girls hop on, get into remember the Centras back in the day?
Yeah.
And they're bumping my mixtape. And I run up to them like, bro, that's me. That's me. And they were like, no way, that's me. Like, that really, really tripped me out. So I went back and I told Steve, the guy that was helping me, the guy that I was making the mixtapes for. And he tells me, I told you, in a year, you're going to be very well known. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I still didn't think anything of it.
So a little history on Steve. He was the one who sold the music at the swap meets?
Yes. He had Dre and DJ Yella making the mixtapes for him first, okay? And that's what made me go look for Steve, because I worked with Steve. He gave me my first job selling vinyl at the Vermont swap meet in the city of Gardena. When I was 11, I started working with him when I was 13, and I didn't see him again until I was like 17.
Right.
So there was a little gap there. And the only reason why I went to go look for him is because I was a fan of the World Class Wrecking Crew. And when I heard Dr. Dre rap on one of his mixtapes, I'm a huge Dr. Dre Surgery fan. So I went to go look for him. I didn't think he would remember me because that had been like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And he remembered me, and that's how we got reunited, reacquainted. And Dre didn't want to do the mixtapes anymore because he was going to get started doing the NWA.
So
stuff.
you were there before they even went on tour and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then one thing I will say this about the album you guys dropped, you and HighC. To me, it was a combination or inspiration from like a Feel Fresh crew because of the way he raps, and then also the NWA and DJ Quick. How you had that DJ Quick sound too, bro, on some of your production. How did you guys work together? Is that where the sound came from, or
no? It's weird because HighC was always telling me about his friend Quick. Oh, my friend Quick. I didn't know who in the hell Quick was. He just kept bragging about him.
Right.
So I finally just said, you know what, man? I mean, if he's that good, why doesn't he do your record? I mean, you kept wanting to be on my mixtapes. So what I did, and I'm gonna be honest, dude, it's the first time I'm ever gonna say it. And DJ Quick's manager told me this. He said, from those mixtapes, Quick got inspired to do some of his production.
Wow.
Okay, he told me that, and I have that documented. So if anybody wants to hear it, I'll play it for you.
Yo, so did you guys all collab? I mean, eventually you guys did because you guys have HighC worked a lot with DJ Quick.
Yes. So when I finally met Quick, it was at Audio Achievements. That's where NWA recorded the records in the city of Torrance. He walks in, and Dre's there, and they don't meet. Quick just walks in. He's kind of just quiet. Then he walks out. And then he starts asking me outside, Dr. Dre questions like, hey, ask him, man, does he pan his hi-hats from left to right manually, or does he use automation? But he was already thinking like an engineer.
Right.
So he was ahead of his time. And he would EQ all his samples before he would actually sample them onto the SB1200 drum machine.
Wow.
So he had an ear. That's one thing that really, really impressed me about him. And I thought I was dope on the SB12, but when I saw him, it was on a whole other level, honestly. Like he intimidated me when it came to the drum machine.
If it wasn't for the album having you, like, because it was HighC and Tony A.
Right.
I would have thought that Quick produced that project.
It's funny you say that because I just recently started on my Instagram releasing floppy disks, like stuff that I did in the 90s. And I've gotten a lot of that where people have told me, wow, if it wasn't for you showing us this, I always thought that DJ Quick produced that album.
Right.
And I was like, no, bro, that was me. That was all me.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
Do you feel like you get the credit that because I feel like sometimes certain producers get overseen and they don't get put on that level because you were there from the beginning, if you think about it.
Yes. Well, part of it has always been like HighC's fault. And this is what I mean by that. Not that I try to blame him for anything, but he would always introduce me as, that's my DJ. That's my DJ. Never as, that's my producer.
Ah.
So, but he would say that about Quick, oh, he produced this song, but when it came to me, that's my DJ. So everybody always thought that I was just a DJ, but no, I produced that record.
Yeah, man. So the one we're gonna get into right now, this is definitely a hip hop classic, West Coast classic. HighC and Tony A. I'm Not Your Puppet. We're gonna get into it. We got more with Tony A coming up. Q95.9, Mambo on the radio, and the 805 locals in studio with us. We got Tony A. the Wizard. Thank you so much for being here, man.
You know what? Thank you for inviting me, bro. You know what? Listening to these songs just brings back so many fun memories, bro.
Hey, man, like I feel like even off the air, bro, I feel like I'm getting like a little history on where honestly West Coast hip hop started at, because you were there from the beginning before it even got to the radio.
Yes.
Now, how was it to see, like you said, you mentioned Quick, you mentioned Dr. Dre, which are some legendary West Coast producers. How was it when you started hearing, them on the radio?
First and foremost, I'll go back to Dr. Dre. I was always a world-class Wrecking Crew fan. Whether it was Lonzo, whether it was DJ Yellow, whether it was Clientele, whether it was Dr. Dre or whatnot. those were my guys. Like I loved that music, which what we would call techno hop.
Yeah.
You know? Hearing Quick, because Quick's album out of our camp, it was DJ Quick, AMG, Second to None, and then HighC. We all came out in the year 1991. So when Quick came out, we're born and raised in Compton, and we heard it on K-Day first. Like, it was like, finally one of us made it out. You know, and we knew we were next.
Right.
You know, Second to None.
See, that was going to be my question. Like, when you heard them on the radio, did you think like, oh, I'm going to be there one day?
Yes. And I knew it was coming, bro. I knew we had good music. But like out of all of those guys, Quick comes out with Born and Raised in Compton. Second to None comes out with If You Want It, classic. And then AMG came out with Be Better Have My Money.
Right.
Okay. Then we came out with I'm Not Your Puppet. I think what made that year so classic for me was that we went on the road and I got to DJ for all of those guys.
Wow.
So to me, those were the best days ever. I got to see NWA perform. Not too many people can say they got to see NWA perform. But not too many people can say that they got to see Quick, AMG, Second to None, and HighC all perform as well. And I've been to both of those schools, the Dr. Dre school and the DJ Quick school. And you know what? I've been blessed and fortunate, man, to have been able to see that and experience that.
You know, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. You don't have to answer this question, but I feel like I have to ask it because you're like an outsider and you've worked with both of them and you've been a part of it since the beginning. Recently, there was a you know where this is going? So
Yes.
so recently someone said that the way they talk about Dr. Dre is who Quick is. What's your opinion on that?
Okay, I'm going to give it to you from the gut, and I'm going to give you an exclusive right here, okay? Because I've never gone public with this, okay? I love both of those guys. Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. DJ Quick is DJ Quick. Now, though I agree with that, no. And I'm just going to be bold about it. Dr. Dre's music changed the world, bro.
Right.
Okay, let's look at the Eazy-E album. Let's look at the NWA album. Let's look at the Michel'le album, the DOC album, the Above the Law album. I know I'm missing one of them, but dude, like his music changed everything, bro. Quick was influenced by Dr. Dre. I remember Quick asking me questions about how did Dre do this, because I knew Dre before Quick did.
Right.
You know, I was there. And, you know, Quick in his own right, he's a legend. He's a genius, bro. But I think Quick is a better engineer than he is a producer, even though he is a top 10 producer.
Right.
But I give his engineering a 12. But Dre had 50 Cent. Dre had Eminem. Dre had Game. He changed music. He changed the world with his music. Quick never did that.
So you're basing it on being there from the beginning and how it changed, how hip hop changed the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dre's music changed the world, and I'm gonna say it this way: Quick's didn't. Does Quick have hits? Absolutely. Is Quick an amazing producer? Absolutely. But Quick's music didn't do what Dr. Dre's music did. So if you would ask me who's a better producer, Dr. Dre.
All right, man. Thank you for answering that. I really thought, like, you know what, I don't want to answer that, but thank you for answering that. And who out of both, which one would you have you worked with Dre yet?
As far as like on a song?
On the song besides the mixtape stuff?
No, just I've been there when he was producing, but I never like co-produced anything with him.
Would you want to do that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if he's already rapped on my mixtapes, came to my house, ate my mom's Mexican food, why not?
Yo, so you've shared that a lot of these cats came to your house.
Yes.
And you know, they ate your mom's food.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
So how was it to have legends like that?
Well,
and then when you speak about it, like if it's like, you know, like oh, I had Divine over for dinner, but these guys, I mean, not that you're not a legend, Divine, but these guys are like hip hop legends.
Well, one thing I will say about them that before, because I knew them before they actually blew up before they were NWA who we know of today. The record was barely taken off, so I didn't see them as mega stars. I just saw them as guys that were hungry, guys that were working, guys that they knew that they were coming to rap on my mixtapes knowing that it was going to get out there and knowing that it would help their music, okay?
Right.
One thing I will say about them, that because when Q was coming over, he was just a teenager. Those guys were very punctual, and those guys were very professional, unlike today. And I'm being honest with you, I worked with a lot of artists today. Those guys back then were very punctual, and they were always on time. They were about their business, and that's why they're at where they're at today, because they took care of their business. And that's one thing I can say about them. When it came time to do a show, they were there on time. When it came time to sound check, they were there on time. I know because I was there, and I work with a lot of rappers that I tell them, hey, we're going to start working at 12 o'clock. They'll show up maybe at 2 or 3, you know.
And I will say, you mentioned sound check too. I don't even think a lot of artists I've seen, unless they're doing like a big stadium, but even like I've seen artists take the small venues just as important as they would do a big venue and do sound check. But at some of these small venues, you don't even see artists doing sound checks like they used to back in the day. You know,
me and HighC still get booked for shows, okay? I'm 57 years old, bro, and I still show up for sound check. That's just important. Here's how you know somebody didn't get a good sound check. When the artist shows up and he starts getting mad at the sound man because the mic ain't up or the music's too low or he's yelling, turn it up. You didn't show up for sound check, bro. So those guys were very, very professional back then. And it's funny because my mom would always be cooking. My mom had 10 kids, so she was always cooking for a lot of kids.
Right.
So when Easy or Dre, or I remember L.A. Dre, rest in peace, they all came over one time. They rapped on one of my mixtapes. I think it was Recop. And my mom was cooking tacos dorados, okay? And Easy said, man, what's that food over there? And I go, well, they're hard-shell tacos with shredded beef. Can we get some of them? Yeah, man. So my mom made tacos and they killed it, bro. So every time they would come over, they would always ask, is your mom going to make tacos? Bro, she doesn't make tacos all the time, bro. But yeah, I'll have her make some tacos.
Yo, man. And you know what? Search Tony A. the Wizard. He's always sharing some dope stories, especially if you're a fan of West Coast hip hop. He's got some dope stories, and also the mixtapes, bro. We're going to be talking about that coming up, man, because those are some legendary mixtapes that you have out. So we got more with Tony A. coming up. Q95.9, Mambo on the radio and the 805 locals. Tony A. in studio with us. Once again, Tony, thank you so much for being here, bro.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, bro. It's a pleasure.
Man, and thank you for sharing these stories, bro. Sometimes randomly, you know, when you log on to your YouTube channel, you're doing, I think most recently you did Julio's podcast that I seen.
Yes. Westside Radio Online. Make sure you guys tune in and check out my latest interview with Julio. He asked me a lot of great questions. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. It's just history, bro. That's one thing I do like about podcasts, because they'll be there forever, bro. And sometimes if people don't ask, we don't know.
Right. That's why I say you can ask whatever you want, bro.
Yeah, and you I asked you the DJ Quick Dr. Dre production question. What about DJs? They were both DJs,
right?
At some point,
right?
Who's the better DJ?
Dr. Dre, hands down.
Serious?
Yeah, I seen them both DJ, bro. I mean, not too many people can say that, but yeah, I'm gonna say it. Like me, like I love both of those guys, but when it comes down to being honest, yeah, Dr. Dre was a better DJ.
What about if I throw you in the mix?
I was better than all of them. Plain and simple. Dr. Dre didn't want none. Quick didn't want none. So I'm just being honest with you. I always got my respect with my turntables, bro.
Now, when you took over the Rodeium mixtapes, who taught you how to use the? Obviously, those were done on a 4-track, right?
Right.
Who taught you how to use that, or did you learn it on your own?
No, I didn't learn it on my own. When I first heard the mixtapes, it was 1987. I started doing it late 87. I thought Dr. Dre was using 4 turntables. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was just so much going on. So when Steve finally came over to my house, he brought over a little box, and it was the Tascam Portal 1 4-track. And I said, what is that? Because it had 5 volumes, one to master in the four tracks. And he taught me how to do them. It took me a while to understand it, but after a while, I mastered it.
You know, one thing I will say about, especially in listening to the, how many do you have out?
Over 30 at least.
And you know what? That was like, let's say, how long was each one?
An hour. 30 minutes on one side, 30 minutes on the other one.
So when you listen to those, there was hours and hours and hours and hours that went into work for that, because I remember even messing around with one back in the day, and you were excited and you spent like 5 hours on it, and it was just like 30 seconds of work.
Yes. I'll tell you, the one that I'm most known for is 88 Boom and Bass. I did that one in 1988. Eazy-E rapped on it. Ice Cube rapped on it. JJ Fad rapped on it. And Tone Loc rapped on it. Tone Loc was getting ready to drop a Wild Thing.
Right.
And all of those guys wanted to rap on my mixtapes because they had records coming out. And we knew selling it at the swap meet, that was like the underground market.
Right.
You know? It was almost like a radio station. That was our social media there. So we would always test out our music at the swap meet. And that's what NWA did. Whenever they come up with a demo, they'd give it to Steve, play it at the swap meet. They gave him Fat Girl on My Jock, LA is the Place, and then they gave him Boys in the Hood, and Boys in the Hood is one that took off for them. So that's where they decided to go with. We're gonna go with that.
And you know, I'm thinking about Steve. Man, that dude was doing research, and you guys didn't even know it. He probably bought more of whatever was selling and sold it even more at the swap meets, right?
Absolutely. And one thing that made him different from anybody else was that he supported independent artists, and a lot of times would sell their stuff on consignments. So let's just say you had a hot song on, but you pressed it up yourself. You would take it over there. Hey, Steve, you know what? Can you sell my record? You keep 10% of it or whatnot. He would help you, and he would do that.
Yeah.
Just to get you out there. A lot of artists did that.
And then you put out a documentary on Steve, right?
Yes, I did that all on my own because he had passed away unexpectedly. And it saddened me, man, that I didn't want his name to get lost in West Coast hip-hop history. So I started calling up everyone that I knew him because Steve introduced me to all of them. Now, I do want to say this, okay? Everyone that I met and everyone that I was introduced to only came because of Steve. So all my connections came through him. And I want to give credit because there's a lot of people that make it or they blow up and they don't give credit to the people that really helped them get there.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you another person that's really, really been instrumental in my career has been a woman by the name of Violet Brown. If people don't know her, she's the godmother of hip hop. So much love and respect.
And how was she, besides helping you out, how was she in the mix and all this?
Well, she used to, remember the record store, The Warehouse?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she was the one that would, you would go gold or platinum because of her, okay? Just ask Cypress Hill, ask Master P, ask Eminem, ask Dr. Dre, ask anybody that's ever made it, they know who Violet Brown is.
So she had an ear to what put in the source.
She had an ear. She, like I said, she would order stuff. Like, let's just say, for an example, your record came out. She could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to have 500,000 records of yours tomorrow in every record store, and you'll most likely go gold. So that's what she would do.
Wow.
Violet Brown was a heavyweight. Is a heavyweight.
And you always give props to a lot of these people that you said that they don't get the credit like they should.
Right.
Remember when the NWA movie came out and everyone was putting those what was it, like a tree of Dr. Dre.
Right.
And you mentioning some of these people like Tony or Steve should have been like.
Yes.
One of the branches in there.
Well, it's funny because Violet Brown said this in my documentary. She said, if you look at Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 Cent, The Game, you look at the Death Row, you look at the NWA, it all goes back down to the Rodeium. That's where it started. And those were her words. And
you know what? I always tell people to check out some of the mixtapes. I got a couple of them that you released on CD that I know they're floating around somewhere because sometimes I'll have them playing in the background and it just brings back memories. Like you feel like you're at the swap meet again, bro. Yeah. And would you release more mixes?
Yeah, I'm going to release, but I'm just remastering them just so they sound a little bit better, and then I'll eventually release some more because there's a lot more that needs to be heard. There's a lot of stuff that Dre rapped on, Eazy rapped on, Q rapped on that a lot of people have not heard because remember these tapes were released in the 80s.
Yeah.
So for this generation to hear them, it will be dope.
And when you say tapes, they're tapes.
Cassettes.
Yeah. So even trying to get them to sound right for digitally,
right?
It's work.
Right. One thing about Steve that he archived everything. If you saw the documentary, the defiant ones with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah.
All that old footage was Steve Yano's.
Wow.
All that old footage, because he recorded everything at Audio Achievements. When I say Audio Achievements, the studio where Dre and them would work at.
All right, so Tony A hanging out here with us, and you know what? I think I might have one of the mixes, like 30 minutes of it. I believe I hit you up when we were doing the 50th anniversary, and we ended up cleaning it up because they weren't radio playable.
Right.
I'm gonna see if I could find that so we could play a piece of it. All right. So Tony A hanging out here with us. We got more with him coming up. It's Q95.9, Mambo on the radio and the 805 locals. Now, usually Dilemma of the Day goes down after 9 a.m. But today, I think we're going to extend this interview, man, because Tony A is in the building, man. And this dude is definitely a hip-hop legend, especially when it comes to a lot of the West Coast stuff. He's been there since the beginning. And, man, you've worked with HighC for sure. You've these mixtapes. Can you name a few of the artists that you work with?
Yeah. Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Michelet, JJ Fad, Tone Loc, Young MC, of course HighC, DJ Quick, Second to None, AMG, if I forgot somebody. But let me say this. Every artist that has rapped on my mixtapes eventually went on to get major record deals.
Right.
Eventually went gold or platinum. Every single one of them, bro. So
you've been, like I said, you've been there from the beginning, and I was mentioning the Rodeium mixtapes. Now, can you tell us a little history about, who, because you took them over eventually, right?
Yes, yeah.
So can you give us a little history on how that started?
Well, I know Dr. Dre was doing the mixtapes from 84 to 87. Then I took over from 87 to 91. So, of course, I had a lot more mixtapes than him, only because he went on to make records. I was doing mixtapes and then eventually did records. But that's how a lot of these guys got their start. Like, for an example, people probably would have never heard of HighC unless he rapped on my mixtapes first.
Right.
Because that's how we got our record deal. But I didn't know while I was doing them that we were actually breaking records on these mixtapes. I was just doing it because I was getting paid and I was having fun, But yeah, man, you know what? I wish I could have done more. Honestly, there was one more that me and Steve were doing, and we never got to finish it, so it was never released. So only
every time you mention these stories, just because I have my swap meet stories from going vinyl shopping there.
Yes.
I just wish you guys had a camera there at all times, bro, when you guys were doing all this.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Man, I wish he was here because Steve recorded everything. Even when we did our mixtapes at my house, he would film us. So there's footage at his house with me and HighC putting together these mixtapes.
You think that footage people will ever see it?
I don't know, because I tried. Let me give a shout out to Susan. I know she's probably not listening, but Susan, his wife, is the one who's the owner of everything. And the last time that they gave footage away, they didn't get paid for it, and that was the Defiant ones. And I'm gonna go ahead and lay it out there.
Wow.
All they got was an email, we got your footage and everything, but they never got paid for it. And that was all that footage that was released on that documentary. So when I hit her up for my footage, she was a little reluctant, and I'm like, Susan, I'm not going to sell it.
Yeah.
I just want to put it out there.
And then can people check out the Steve Yano the Rodeium radio documentary?
Docu-mixery, that's what we called it. Instead of a documentary, we call it docu-mixery. So I want to give my boy DG the credit for coming up with that name. You can go to my YouTube, which is Tony Vision. That's all, Tony Vision, and you look up the docu-mixery, and it's there. That's the 1 hour film festival version. If you become a member on my YouTube, then you get to see the full 2 hour version of it. And
then Rodeium, that's a swap meet for people that don't know, but is that the name that stuck with all the mixtapes?
Yes. See, we would name the mixtapes, we would give the mixtapes names for whatever word was popping at the time. Like if the word scandalous was popping at the time, we would name it scandalous. If it was recop. If it was double up. That's what we just named it. So whatever name was popping, that's what it was.
All right. So like I said, a couple years ago, we actually played a piece of one of the mixes, and the reaction that it got, I think it took a lot of people into their memory lane, because
we played it for the 50th anniversary, where we linked up with a lot of producers, a lot of DJs from back in the days, or just talented DJs that we couldn't get a hold of a few, but we know that some of their mixes meant a lot to hip hop. For instance, Rectangle.
Yes.
His mixes, I think he still continues to release mixes.
Yeah, we still chat every once in a while on Instagram. Much love and respect to Rectangle.
Yeah, his that kind of reminds me of what you guys started doing, what he does.
Right.
Because he really puts in work to
a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes.
And right now we're I don't even know which one it is, but this is about 25 minutes of a part of a mix that you were a part of.
Yes.
And which one do you think this one is? Because I played a piece of it.
If it's the one with Eazy-E, that's one called 88 Boom and Bass.
And this is one of the more popular ones.
It's probably my most popular one. I wouldn't say it was my best, but it's the most popular one. And this one was released in 1988.
So this is something you're going to hear from 1988, and not only that, it was done on a cassette.
On a 4-track,
yeah,
yes, on a cassette.
So the sound quality might not be the best, but you guys are going to get to enjoy it, all right? So this is about 25 minutes of a Rodeium mix, all right? Check it out. Q95.9, Mambo on the radio and the 805 locos. That's a Rodeium mixtape from Tony A, who's here with us. Thank you so much for being here, bro.
Oh, thank you for welcoming me, bro. It's a pleasure being here.
Now, man, just playing that. I think the last time we played that was a few years ago when we were doing the 50 years of hip hop mix weekend, and I believe I reached out to you and say like, "Yo, is it cool if we play this? I'll send you a shirt." And
yes. You know what? And I kept those shirts. I never wore them because that's something that I would like to frame. 50 years of hip hop, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think a lot of people made a big thing about it the way they should have, bro.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, if hip hop was 50 years, then you know what? I was maybe because I'm 57 now. So how many years ago was that? I was still a kid, bro, when hip hop started. What is it? August 11th, 1973, I think they say.
It's coming up again.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
August, Cool Herc. I've been to the place where supposedly the first hip hop party was, and I took pictures there. I always tell people that if you're a rapper, go to New York at least once, bro. At least go to the Mecca of where it all started. And I think, and that's why I went out there.
One thing I've seen people do is they do the tours. They actually have like hip hop tours out there, right?
You know what? The good thing is I have my own tour because my boy who gave me my tour actually lives in Harlem. So I had the whole Brooklyn, Bronx, and Harlem experience.
So you didn't get the commercial tour. No. You got the real tour.
I got the real tour and with the real food, bro. So.
And also, man, so these mixtapes, this is just like 25 minutes of it that we played. When was this one released?
That was released in 1988, and that one had Eazy-E rapping on it. As you heard, Ice Cube rapping on it. Ice Cube was just a teenager at the time. And then on the other side of the cassette was JJ Fad, and then in the middle of that was Tone Loc, because Wild Thing had just dropped. Mm-hmm. So I had 4 heavy hitters on that cassette.
And I will say this, man. In just listening to this, you were, a lot of DJs do that now, but you were doing mashups back then and didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it, like I said, bro. And look, bro, I'm a very humble guy. I'm not one of these cocky dudes that likes to brag, but I was doing a lot of stuff that, a lot of guys are doing now. But like you said, I didn't know that I was doing it.
Now you mentioned one of the oldies that you played. That's where the inspiration or the idea for one of the songs came out for you.
Yes. Well, I did. I'm Your Puppet over Dizzle Daz. If you guys don't know who Dizzle Daz, look him up. And that's where I thought oldie sounded dope over a hip hop beat.
Right.
And also when I did Love and Happiness by Al Green over another hip hop beat, that's where another producer got an idea to produce a song called More Like a Player, More Like a Pimp.
So, man, a lot of history right there for sure, man. Tony A, the Wizard, hanging out here with us. We got more with him coming up. Keep it locked right here. Q95.9, Mambo on the radio and the 805 locos. Tony A hanging out here with us. Once again, Tony, thank you so much for hanging out with us, man.
Thank you, bro, for having me.
I know we extended the interview by an hour, bro, but man, just playing some of your music brings a lot of great memories. And leave my crew alone, bro. What was the idea when you produced that song right there?
Well, HighC, of course, he had a juicy, wet jerry curl dripping, you know. And every time he would sit back in Steve's van, like in his seat, he'd wet it all up. If he sat on a couch, he'd wet it all up. So he came up with an idea of like, you know what? Let me just make a song about people complaining about my jerry curl. And he said, Tone, I want an up-tempo beat. So I'll give you guys, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I actually broke it down on a video where I took the bottom beat from So to So, Back to Life. And then I took a bass line from Brick, a song called Duzik, took the horns and we mashed it up together. It fit perfectly. And, you know, the rest is history, man. I had a fun time doing that song.
And you guys also have a video out for it, right?
Yeah, we had a video out. It was filmed in Venice Beach and directed by the one and only the Hughes brothers. This was the first video that these guys had ever directed, and they did it for us. For those of you guys that don't know who the Hughes brothers are, they went and did Dead Presidents, The Book of Eli, Menace to Society.
Right.
And then after that, they went and did AMG's video, Second to None video, MC8 video, American Pimp. They did so much stuff, bro.
Now, you know, Divine, who's here with us, he asked a good question. You know, your DJ name is Tony A the Wizard.
Correct.
Where did the Wizard come in?
Well, that was Steve Yano, who just didn't want to call me DJ Tony, but I told him, well, they call me Tony A. So I explained how I got my A from, and obviously my last initial. And he just said, no, you need a better DJ name. You need a better DJ name. So one day he called me up and he said, hey, you ready? And I go, yeah, go for it. And he said, it's Tony A. TT Wizard. And I said, what's the TT? Turntable Wizard. And I said, why a wizard? And he said, because you're a fast on the turntables. And I said, okay, so wizards are fast? I was a little confused. And he was like, it's just a name, Tony. Tony the Wizard. I was like, okay, let's go with this, Steve.
So you were questioning it. Yeah, I get it, man. So what's next? Are you still doing shows and everything?
I'm still doing shows. As a matter of fact, I got a big show coming up in September 21st in Ventura. I think it's the fairgrounds or
the car show.
Yeah, with Sugar Free. We got a car show coming up. We got a couple of more shows. We just got booked for October, November, and December, so we got some more shows coming up. Other than that, man, I'm just staying busy. I'm still producing. As you guys see that follow me on Instagram, I still do stuff with my drum. I'm doing stuff on Logic. I'm DJing again. As a matter of fact, I got a show where I'm DJing a 4-hour event for Mr. Cartoon in LA, September. I'm just not sure the date yet.
Right.
But I'll be doing that. He's got a big collab with 2 big companies. I can't speak too much about it, but I'm the special guest DJ. And other than that, I'm staying busy. I'm still filming. I'm still doing the podcast. Whether you follow me on Tony Vision, I do Rodeium Radio, and I also do Freaky Tales, my paranormal podcast, because I like that paranormal stuff.
All right, man. So Tony A, once again, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Man, the door's always open when you want to come back. Hopefully we get you back in here when you're back here in September for the car show.
Yes, sir.
Yes, anything else you want to put out there, bro?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, man. I want to thank this radio station at Q95.9 for welcoming me with open arms. And I also want to give a couple of shout outs, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I want to give a shout out to my good friend, Violet Brown. I've been knowing Violet Brown since I've been a teenager. She's very near and dear to me. Much love to her and Carla. And I also want to thank my brother, Frank Ramirez. I also want to thank Jeff Kwan, Tony G, the one and only KD Mixmaster Tony G, Julio G, KD Mixmaster, who just interviewed me. If you guys want to check out my interview, it's on Westside Radio online on YouTube. Also, all the Rodeium Radio fans. And also, I want to thank my good friend, Erica. I know she's listening. My son, B. Scanless, and Alex. And I also want to thank just everybody who tuned in today, man. You know, much love and respect to you guys. Make sure if you guys are in the area, you guys check us out September 21st right here in Ventura. We'll be rocking it on stage. Me, HighC, and Sugar Free.
Hey, and shouts out to your son. I got to meet him about a year ago, bro. I thought it was you at first when I seen him.
Everybody thinks that, bro.
And then, we chopped it up for a little bit, and we were talking about you for a minute, man. So shouts out to him. I believe he was at a festival out here that we were a part of.
He's always coming out here, man. But it's funny. He goes, Dad, everybody thinks I'm you. And I was like, mijo, always remember, the original is always worth more than the copy.
Hey, man, Tony, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All good. Thank you.